Okay, we're going to go into some weird territory here. If you're along for the ride, great. If not, this is your final warning to dip out of this video before things get wild. Are we hooked up to a hive mind? Are human beings becoming a hive mind? Now, this question sounds completely bonkers, and I agree with you if you're thinking that right now. But first, before we keep going, I want to define what a hive mind is. A hive mind is a collective consciousness where multiple individuals share a single unified intelligence or coordinate their behavior, acting as one entity. Are we hooked up to a hive mind? What would make me ask this question in the first place? Well, think about the internet for a second. The internet is this technology that we have very limited understanding of. What do we know about the internet? We know that it is used for communication across the planet. People of all cultures have access to this great technological invention. And to clarify, I should say that not everyone has access to the internet. There are people in impoverished countries that do not have access to it, whether by means of not being able to afford the technology to be able to use it, or not knowing how to use it. Not everyone on planet Earth is on the internet, but there is a large majority of the Earth's population that is using it. And it is affecting the world in unprecedented ways. The internet is used from everything from communicating with people you know or want to know online across the world, across the globe. You can have, if you live in Denmark, you can have a conversation with somebody in Zimbabwe at the exact same time. Like, just think about that for a second. How nuts is that we've created technology where two people who live at such a far distance away can connect with each other in the same moment? Two people from completely different cultures. They can have a conversation, and they can share things about their lives, and they can share things about the way they think, how they do things, what life is like for them with each other. And now imagine that happening all at once with every single person on the internet. Ideas are being shared every which way. From United States to China, from Russia to South Africa, from one country to another, from one location to another. These ideas are penetrating the minds of every person who uses this technology. And if you want a little bit of a backstory of why we're talking about this, I did make a previous video, Is the Internet Creating One Culture? I will link the video in the comments below if you want to check that out. So we have all these little subgroups on the internet. The internet is used for anything from e-commerce to connecting with other people to finding a little niche that is a topic of interest to you. So we have all these little subcultures, and let's say that we have a interest-based subculture. We'll take this little pocket, for example, and inside this little pocket on the internet, there's a group of people. And they all have this shared common interest, and they talk to each other. They talk to each other about this shared common interest as the main reason why they all collectively join this group. And let's say that there's 10 people in this group, and 9 of them only go on the internet just for this little subgroup. They don't do anything else. They only talk about the ideas surrounding this little interest they have. But one person in that group of 10 experiences more than that little subgroup does. They go to other places on the internet, and they get ideas from over here and over there. They're constantly being fed ideas from all these different groups they are in and experience, including that one tiny little subgroup of 10 people that they're also in. How will this little subgroup of 10 people evolve over time? Well, if 9 of those people only circulate the same ideas they have inside that group's culture will stay relatively the same. It will evolve, but maybe not at a rapid pace. But we now add this person who has ideas coming from these other areas of the internet. And they are also involved in this little subgroup of 10 people total. They begin sharing their ideas. And these ideas begin to mold and shape the evolution of this group. They begin to sway and change the minds of the people who are in this group. This group is now not completely static in its way of thinking. It is changing. Now, take that little subgroup and multiply it 1,000, 1,000,000 times fold. This is happening all at once, all over the internet, everywhere. Ideas are being shared in different interest-based groups. Ideas are being shared across the entire, landscape of this technology. There's this constant flood of information hitting you every time you join and connect to the internet. And so these ideas are shaping how you think. You have algorithms on social media, X, Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, Instagram. If you're using any of these social media algorithms, you are constantly being hit by a flood of ideas. Some of them might be really interesting ideas, smart ones that make you think about things. Others might be flat out stupid. Somewhere are a mix of in between and somewhere in the middle. But regardless, there is this constant flood of information. And all these ideas are bouncing around in this room, going back and forth between each other, colliding with each other and passing through. And you're connecting to this. This wealth of information that humanity has collected and is creating live right now. So it begs to ask the question, are we hooked up to a hive mind? But maybe the question shouldn't be this. Maybe a hive mind is the wrong question to ask. Maybe a better question to ask is, are your thoughts your own? Or are your thoughts becoming that of the machine? Where do you get your inspiration from? I can't profess to have an answer to any of these questions I'm asking. And I'm not saying that there actually is a hive mind or this is reality. But I find the thought experiment quite interesting, and I'm very curious to hear what you have to say on this subject. I love reading your comments, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Thank you.